Hello, this is VP Nursky coming to you guys with VP Hand from Above for a VP Gamers Gamecast. This is going to be game number 2 of the second match of the King of Aiur round of 4. That was a Chilean tournament. So first, spawning in the red, the loser of the first match down 1-0 is going to be VPAnathorn of VP Gamers. And then spawning over here in the south, spawning as the blue Terran up 1-0 in this match is going to be SenDoh. This is going to be on the map Shattered Temple. And Anathorn's got his work cut out for him because he's definitely got to get back into this as soon as possible.
He definitely does, but you know, there's nothing that says I'm going to kick your butt more than some fromage. Maybe a little cheese, you know, a little cheddar.
Yes, I think I might know what you're speaking of.
You catching what I'm throwing?
I may be indeed. So we actually have a little bit of a variation for VPAnathorn's previous build, as he's going to be going to Refinery first. Typically this is leading into the fastest possible factory build. Sometimes it can be Banshees, sometimes it can be Blue Flame Hellions, sometimes it can be Mech, so it'll be interesting to see what he actually goes with. Meanwhile, back over here in SenDoh's base, they put up the 12 barracks. Is also getting up his 13 refinery, so a pretty similar build to the previous game for SenDoh, whereas a little bit of a variation from Anathorn, which is probably a good idea. Definitely wouldn't probably want to go with that build he went with last game, because that didn't turn out so hot.
No, but definitely they're spawning in next position, so my money's on aiur, because you can abuse the stones throw across the little ravine here to get to your opponent.
Definitely could be a possibility, although at this point in the game, Anathorn actually has no idea where his opponent is, so he could be close ground, close air or otherwise, but this is definitely a map that is, I'd say, one that caters decently to air type of harassment and stuff like that. There is a lot of really good places you can hide units and skirt along the edges of the map, so it definitely is a pretty good map for it. Orbital Command about halfway done now for SenDoh. Meanwhile, back in Anathorn's base, hasn't even started the Orbital Command yet, just now starting it. Factory on the way, about 25% done. First Marine about to pop out for Anathorn. So he is actually going to beat the SCV to the ramp just barely. We'll see if he actually can kill it off. Actually, SenDoh turns the SCV around. Does not want to lose that SCV just yet. Meanwhile, Anathorn still out scouting, looking for his opponent. Has not seen where he's at yet. A couple of Marines at the front for SenDoh, so should be able to shoot away Anathorn. And we have a lot of minerals saved up and an SCV moving out, so I'm expecting actually a 1-Rax into expand for SenDoh this game. So definitely a little bit different for him, as he's kind of going with a build similar to what Anathorn did last game.
And on this map, I would say that's a little risky. It's not where, I mean, yeah, he can put a bunker or two down, but if Anathorn decides to go fast into something like tank, who knows?
Yep, any kind of early aggression definitely could punish a 1-Rax into expand. Instead, we actually have a starport on the way. Starport about halfway done. There is a tech lab connected to that starport, and we have Hellions on the way, so I am more or less expecting Banshees out of the starport, as Hellions are a mineral dump, whereas the Banshees are a gas dump, so probably going to be expecting a pretty fast Banshee from VPAnathorn here, although he's actually not quite able to start it as the starport finishes up, because he is actually supply blocked temporarily. So the supply block once again plaguing him a little bit. We do have a factory just about complete now for SenDoh. So SenDoh opening up similarly to the last game, but a little bit different, adding his second refinery in. His expansion command center just about to finish up. Also has a bunker about halfway complete. Try and make the front of his base secure, but it's definitely not going to be secure from these Banshees. Here comes some Hellions towards the center of the map. Oddly enough, SenDoh is actually going to pull back before he even gets a look at these Hellions. Won't even know they're coming until they hit him.
Catching right up.
Yep, they're catching up. They're going to try and pick off this last Marine. He is going to get away over towards the bunker, though, so these Marines will be safe, at least temporarily, from the Hellions. 3 Hellions now up towards the front, 3 Marines for VPAnathorn. That first Banshee is just now completing, and it is going straight over towards SenDoh's base. Cloak is not being researched, however, Siege Mode is for SenDoh, as long with the first Siege tank. Couple of more Marines on the way, and here comes that Banshee into the base, picking off one SCV, picking off the SCV, actually working on the engineering bay, is now shooting the engineering bay, and back in the front of SenDoh's base, we have a run by with the Marines and the Hellions. Hellions going into the mineral line, trying to fry some of these SCVs up, have not killed it yet. There goes 2, there goes 3, 4, 5 SCVs going down now. Now a tank trying to trap these Hellions in the corner. Hellions actually trying to fight the tank. Meanwhile, the Banshee has actually retreated back to VPAnathorn's base.
With 5 amazing kills.
Yep, got 5 kills. Looks like it killed a couple SCVs, a couple of Marines. And then a couple of kills at the front of SenDoh's base. Lost some SCVs. If we look at the income tab really quick, we can see that it's 24 harvesters of VPAnathorn to just the measly 16 of SenDoh. Although SenDoh does already have his expansion up, so he will be able to reproduce just a little bit faster. Anathorn pulling a couple of SCVs to repair up these Banshees, so now he does have 2 Banshees fully repaired. It looks like he's actually gearing up to potentially move out again. Starport now on the way for SenDoh. Probably wants to get out some Vikings so that he can deal with the Banshees of VPAnathorn. Expansion Command Center now going down for Anathorn behind this push as he is moving forward. Looks like he might be trying to push forward one more time. Here comes the Banshee swinging around into the front of SenDoh. SenDoh with only 3 Marines over here at the front. Those Banshees could easily pick off those 3 Marines if they wanted to. Instead, they're going to go after the Mules of SenDoh. SenDoh retreating. SenDoh actually may not even have any scans. Here comes those Hellions, but quickly repelled by the tanks. But VPAnathorn now moving up forward. He's going to pick off the second tank. Only 3 Marines up here at the front. Anathorn making sure to keep his distance from the bunker. Doesn't want to engage the bunker directly. Both these Banshees with quite a few kills. 6 on one, 7 on the other. Here comes those Marines now running forward, trying to pick off some of these Banshees. Do end up getting one of the Banshees. So now 1 Banshee remains, but killing a lot of workers, a lot of SCVs. Siege mode just about to finish up.
Himself.
Yes, that Banshee was definitely cost effective. This Banshee's sitting here on 9 kills. Only 1 Marine at the front of SenDoh. SenDoh with nothing he can really do about this. Anathorn just not quite able to push in yet because of that bunker, but he does pick off 1, picks off both the Marines. That's going to allow Anathorn to move forward and pick off this bunker. An SCV coming down here to try and repair this bunker is going to lose that SCV as well. Marine does get in there now, so Anathorn is going to back up, happy with the damage that he did do with the pressure to SenDoh. His expansion command center is now up. He'll be able to start morphing that into an orbital command. There it goes. Meanwhile, back in his base, we have 3 barracks going up. Still has that 1 starport with the tech lab. Does have a factory down with a tech lab. Is building a siege tank now, so he is going to be looking to do probably a marine tank transition and just keep those couple of Banshees he has alive as long as possible. Does have 2 Banshees still. Looks like he's actually moving forward with this tank. Does have siege mode researched. SenDoh does have siege mode as well, but no tanks at the front of his base. Just one up on the ledge here. Does cover most of the choke. There's only a small area could actually get by. Second tank on the way now. Probably going to be sieging up on the lower ground so that he can cover that whole front. Looks like Anathorn is actually going to back up. Was maybe thinking of elevatoring. Does not have a medevac out yet. Is actually building even more Banshees.
But he has Cloak on the way there, so...
Yes, does indeed have Cloak on the way. No scans saved up at the main command center. Looks like he has 1 command saved up at the expansion, but actually uses it to drop another mule. So actually no scans right now at the time for SenDoh. Those Banshees could do a ton of damage when Cloak finishes.
Yeah, because there is no turret down in the bottom there.
Nope, no turret in the bottom of the base just yet. So that expansion could be extremely vulnerable to the Cloak Banshees. Does have quite a few Banshees out already. Does have 2 with his main army. If we look over here, we see that there are some Vikings over near the base of SenDoh, but those Vikings
here he goes. He's pushing on in.
Yep, looks like Anathorn is thinking of pushing in. His supply block, though, once again, something that plagued him in the first game a little bit. Getting supply blocked a couple times. Now those Banshees cloaking up, going to move forward. Going to easily pick off 1 siege tank. Picking off a Marine. Now just pushing forward straight into the bunker. Those Vikings attacking. Finally has a scan. But he's just going to push forward anyways, letting the Vikings attack the Banshees, using the Banshees to soften up all the ground forces of SenDoh. SenDoh now having to pull all of his SCVs. Does still have a tank on the high ground, though, but losing a couple of SCVs once again. Anathorn taking some damage from that siege tank. Really needs to get out of the range of the other siege tank. He's going to try and pick off this one last siege tank of SenDoh, but is not able to do it. So as we do look at the resource tab, it is 68 to 54. Still a very close game right now at this point in the game. VPAnathorn looking pretty good right now, though. So we look at the income tab, 42 harvesters to just a 34 of SenDoh, so a huge economic advantage for Anathorn right now. So his pressure is definitely paying off. 3 barracks in the main, still building Banshees. Also going to be producing more tanks.
And it looks like he's going for his gold.
Yep, looks like he is going to be trying to expand to the gold base here. Even had left the scout over by the gold base of SenDoh, so he'll know if SenDoh does try to push out to build an expansion over there. SenDoh actually pushing out a single SCV to walk over there.
But look, there's a cloaked Banshee, and that's not going to do much.
No, that Banshee going right through the middle and dead. Just scans, no big deal, easy squeezy. Orbital command with out of energy in the natural, but there is still one scan on the main, so making sure to save some scans for the cloaked Banshees, but which is a good thing though, because it actually will hurt SenDoh's economy even more. Because if we look at the income tab right now, we see VPAnathorn about 1,500 minerals, 1,600 minerals, and only 1,000 for SenDoh, as he does have significantly less muling ability with the way he is playing.
You have a big thing going on in the middle here.
Yep, big battle going on in the middle of the map. VPAnathorn is pushing straight into the siege tanks of SenDoh. SenDoh even dropping the Vikings. Actually is going to manage to clean up the push of Anathorn. SenDoh pulling ahead now in the resource count, 75 to 69. So that engagement not going well for Anathorn at all. Actually giving up his lead with that one move. His expansion at the gold is now vulnerable. SenDoh is going to be moving forward. It looks like he's going to be going straight for the natural of Anathorn. Will he spot the third gold base? Is the question. He has no idea it's there. Meanwhile, back in the middle of the map, we do have a couple of Marines attacking a poorly rallied unit. And now SCVs, Marines, and everything coming out to try and crush this push of SenDoh. Anathorn wasting some SCVs. Siege tank up on the high ground, firing on all these forces. I do not know if Anathorn's actually going to have enough to clean this up. I'm not sure if that was the wisest move by Anathorn or not to do that. Did not wait for that siege tank to even get up before he pushed out. And now SenDoh moving into the natural of Anathorn. Going to be just immediately attacking that command center. Focus firing it down. Vikings landed on the ground. Second siege tank now here on the way. Going to try and get off a couple shots, but not really going to do a whole lot of damage. Here comes 3 more Marines. Those will be easily cleaned up. SenDoh does have a medevac. VPAnathorn does not. Re-sieging up this tank. That tank is not going to be able to do a whole lot. Here comes all the SCVs now, but that tank is dead. And GG for VPAnathorn, as he is now going to go down.
Oh boy.
0-2 in the series. A pretty decent opening by Anathorn. Gave him a nice lead, but just
it was that battle
control.
In the middle. That's what did him.
Yep, that battle in the middle lost a bunch of his forces for nothing. Got a little over aggressive, and that one mistake just led to his complete and total downfall. So we'll have to see if he can come back to get the series any closer in Game 3.
Not to be a pessimist, Nursky, but you know how hard it is to come back from 2-0?
2-0 is definitely no easy task. There has been plenty of people have done it. I mean, if you look at something like the IGN recently, aiur did it in his set against KoA, and KoA did it in his set against Select. So it's definitely possible, but definitely is an uphill battle. Yeah, it's going into these last potentially 3 matches here. SenDoh needing only to win 1, Anathorn needing to win 3 in a row in order to take this. So we will be heading to Game 3 of this series, and we will see you guys there.